The invisibles could be the foreign student, or the shy student. They could also be the handicapped student, or even the strange student. Invisible students are those whom have not found a place in society into which they fit, and thus feel invaluable to all groups. As is highlighted in Horrigan's article, The Invisible Student, children are very dependent on their peers and their environment to uncover who they themselves are. As is stated in the same article, the longer a teacher waits to provide information and model appropriate behavior, the more vulnerable the group is to form a social hierarchy, and possibly other undesirable qualities. The following clip from the Princess Diaries 2 parade scene perfectly displays many things an educator should be obligated to do when faced with a moral problem in the classroom, as well as with a student's perception of his or her own self-worth.
Nana, I don't like your parade. Hey, don't stop. Stop the carriage.
Hello. What's your name?
Carolina.
And what are your names?
John.
Did I see you messing with Carolina?
They were tugging on my parade.
This is the point where an educator should not scold a negative behavior, but try to build understanding and acceptance.
Carolina, would you like to be a princess today?
I can't, I'm too little. Too piccola.
Oh no, because I declare that anyone can be a princess today.
Especially in the music room, an educator should be constantly reinforcing student empowerment and facilitating growth, expression, and beauty.
Well, why don't we get you a tiara, and you can wave and march in the parade. In fact, why don't you all take tiaras? You'll be able to wave with your thumb in your mouth?
I can wave with this hand.
Very good.
I want to cry.
Can we be in the parade?
Of course.
Notice that when the teacher remains open, the students will feel safe and want to participate in the nurturing environment.
Of course, we could always use more princes in the world. And just have fun. So are you ready?
Yeah!
And here's the most beautiful part, the part of the student, self-realization.
Just remember, you are a princess.
I'll spread my wings and I'll learn how to fly. Make a wish, take a chance, make a change, and break out.
There you go.
When asked the question, do you think it is more important for a teacher to stop and address a moral problem that has arisen in the classroom, or stick to the content and just push past it, here's what a few freshmen had to say.
It's more important for a teacher to address the moral problems, because if they don't address it, then the moral problems will just get worse.
Well, my personal opinion is it somewhat depends on what student you're dealing with who made the ignorant comment per se. Because say it's someone who you know will put up an argument in the middle of class and eat up about 10-15 minutes of valuable time. You could simply say, Brandon, I'll see you after class, and then have a chat with them on moral etiquette. But if not, if it's something trivial and you know the student won't put up much of a fight, if you will, then you could comment on it in class just so that everyone else gets to see that that was not morally acceptable in our society. So that's one way to look at things.
I think kind of the opposite. I think you should just stop class entirely because as a teacher, your goal is to like set up students for success later in life and create like beneficial citizens. So that's like your objective, is to set good morals and things. And if bad morals and bad things are being said, then you really need to stop it like as soon as possible.
I definitely think that it's more important for a teacher to stop and address the problem. Things that come up like that in the classroom are just as important as the academic subject, and those are all very teachable moments. You should never ignore something that's happened in the classroom when you can teach your students something from that.
I think that if the teacher does not address the subject in the classroom itself, if they just graze over it, then they are doing an extreme disservice to this field of work. Yes, we are classroom teachers, and yes, in this case, we are music educators. However, we are also guiding these young people's lives and helping to shape these young people's lives. If a situation arises where there's a situation of racism, discrimination, whether because of their race, their gender, their sexual orientation, and we choose to ignore that, we're saying that behavior is okay, and we're reinforcing that behavior. And that student that was traumatized, or that student that was called out, loses their voice in the classroom, and they feel powerless. What it does to the student is it tells them that their behavior, who they are, is not okay, is not acceptable by society, and they shut down. And those are the ones that become the classroom management issues. Those are the ones that drop out. Those are the ones that just sit in the back of the classroom until they disengage when they could be the brightest students.
Ideally, of course, the teacher is going to address the moral questions, because they are role models, of course, and they need to make it clear to the students that if there is something that is making people uncomfortable in the class, they're going to address this, and it's going to be a learning moment for the class. Of course, this is what we're striving for. I can't really say one way or the other what I feel. I think it's absolutely dependent on the circumstances.
In the end, I believe it is in the best interest of the teacher to constantly promote moral justice while keeping the class in a good, comfortable flow. Someday, these children will become our leaders, imbued with dignity and understanding through music.